Welcome back. Stay here and subscribe. In the long parade of Roman emperors, some cruel, some mad, some brilliant, few stories twist as sharply, few reputations shift so dramatically as that of Titus Flavius Vespasianus. Born into a world of ambition and war, stained by fire and conquest, and yet remembered with affection, Titus is a paradox sculpted in marble and memory. He destroyed a holy city. He saved another from fire and plague. He ruled for only 2 years. And still, he became amor et delitiae generis humani, the love and delight of the human race.
A soldier's son, a soldier's life. Titus was born in 39 AD during the reign of Caligula, a time of instability and whispers of madness at the heart of the empire. His family, the Flavians, were respected but not noble. His father, Vespasian, rose through grit and military merit, not bloodlines. From an early age, Titus was raised with the discipline of the legions and the ambition of a family on the rise. He studied in Rome, excelling in rhetoric and law, but it was the clang of swords and the order of camps that called to him. He served in Germania and Britannia, learning leadership in mud and blood, not marble halls. Then came Judea, and history turned its gaze. The siege of Jerusalem. By 66 AD, Judea was in open revolt. Roman tax collectors, sacrilege, and oppression had ignited a resistance that spread like fire. Nero, seeking to crush the rebellion, dispatched Vespasian and Titus. Father and son marched with overwhelming force. They besieged city after city, dismantling Jewish strongholds. It was a war not just of swords, but of will. Jerusalem, the beating heart of Jewish faith, became the ultimate prize. In 69 AD, as civil war broke out in Rome following Nero's suicide, Vespasian was proclaimed emperor by Eastern legions. He left for Rome. Titus remained behind to finish the war. In 70 AD, after months of brutal siege, starvation, and infighting among Jewish factions, Jerusalem fell. The Second Temple, the center of Jewish religious life, was destroyed, its golden menorah taken, its walls charred by flames, its people slaughtered or enslaved. The Roman legions marched through the streets. Bodies lay in heaps. The sacred was desecrated. Triumph and spectacle Rome celebrated as it always did, with excess. Titus returned in triumph bearing sacred vessels, a vast fortune, and tens of thousands of slaves. The spectacle stunned the capital. Elephants marched in gilded armor. The spoils of the temple glinted in the sunlight. A massive arch, the Arch of Titus, was commissioned to immortalize the event. Its bas-reliefs still show Roman soldiers carrying the menorah, the trumpets, the looted sanctity of Jerusalem. The Colosseum, begun by Vespasian, would be funded by the plunder. Judea's tragedy became Rome's glory. And yet, as the crowds cheered, many whispered. The shadow of Nero Titus had long been close to the imperial court, and his charisma made some uneasy. He had supported Nero, mimicked his mannerisms, and even taken as a mistress Berenice, a Jewish princess seen by many Romans as a foreign queen reminiscent of Cleopatra. She lived with him in the palace. She was educated, elegant, politically astute, but for the Roman elite, her presence was scandalous. Rumors spread. Was Titus another Nero in disguise? When Vespasian died in 79 AD, the city braced for disappointment or disaster. Titus the emperor, a radical turn, and then the unthinkable happened. Titus banished Berenice to preserve the dignity of the throne. He distanced himself from any hint of decadence. He ruled not with indulgence, but with integrity. He restored the dignity of the courts, refusing to hear cases in private. He made himself available to senators, citizens, and soldiers. He reigned in imperial extravagance. He held no executions. he governed with surprising mercy. Suetonius would write, "No request was ever denied him. He became visible, accessible, human, and then nature struck." A wrath of Vesuvius on August 24, 79 AD, the skies darkened. Mount Vesuvius, long dormant, erupted in an apocalyptic fury. Pompeii, Herculaneum, and Stabiae were engulfed in ash and pyroclastic flow. Thousands died, some vaporized instantly, others entombed alive. The horror was unfathomable, but Titus did not retreat to his palaces. He traveled to the disaster zone, walked among the survivors, inspected the ruins, grieved with the people. He opened the imperial treasury. He established relief funds. He appointed emergency managers. He rebuilt what he could. No emperor had ever shown such compassion in crisis. And the disasters would not end.
Fire, plague, and the people.
In 80 AD, a fire swept through Rome, destroying many temples, homes, and public buildings. As embers still glowed, an epidemic broke out, a plague whose origins remain unknown. The city was wounded, its spirit shaken. Titus acted swiftly. He summoned physicians. He reopened aqueducts. He funded public works. He did not abandon his people. To restore morale, he completed and inaugurated the Flavian Amphitheater, the Colosseum, with 100 days of games. Gladiators, wild beasts, even mock naval battles filled the arena. It was a gift to the masses, a symbol that Rome still stood. Beneath the blood and sand, it was a political masterstroke.
A sudden farewell. Then, as if fate mocked greatness,
Titus fell ill. In September of 81 AD, during a return from Campania, the same region Vesuvius had scarred, he was struck by a high fever. Some say it was malaria, others poison. He was 41. On his deathbed, he whispered, "I have made but one mistake." What did he mean? Historians debate. Was it his trust in his brother Domitian, who would become a tyrant? Was it Berenice? Was it Jerusalem? Or was it simply this, that he had not lived long enough? Legacy in marble and memory, Rome mourned. Genuinely. Public grief was profound. Titus had reigned for barely 2 years, yet he had reshaped the image of power. He was praised not for conquest, but for compassion, not for drama, but for duty. Ancient historians, often harsh, were uncharacteristically kind. Tacitus noted his rare combination of mercy and dignity. Cassius Dio wrote that he was the only one among all emperors who was changed for the better by becoming emperor. His arch still stands, a monument both to his greatest victory and his most haunting legacy.
the conqueror who chose mercy, Titus, is a paradox cast in stone.
He raised Jerusalem, forever altering a people's destiny. He comforted Pompeii, offering hope after destruction. He built the Colosseum, a marvel of architecture and imperial propaganda. And yet, he died without heirs. His brother Domitian would take the throne and unravel much of what Titus built. Tyranny would return, executions, paranoia. The Senate would live in fear once more. But for a brief, brilliant moment, Rome had a ruler who chose decency over decadence, a conqueror who became a caretaker, a warrior who became a man of peace.
He was not the most powerful emperor, nor the most famous, but in the middle of Rome's imperial machine, built on conquest, hierarchy, and fear, Titus became something else, a reminder that virtue can shine, even if only for a moment. He left behind no bloodline, but he left behind something rarer in Roman history, a good name. He was Titus, the soldier, the builder, the redeemer. Remember to subscribe to Creando Abundancia channel.